in C sharp. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Go.
Hi, I'm Phil Doctor. I do program in Python also, but I kind of accidentally came to start programming C sharp. About 4 years ago, I got a job as a Java developer, and I showed up day one. They said, here's Visual Studio, grats, you're now a C sharp developer, which was sort of strange for me, but I kind of, in the process of coding it, learned that it wasn't quite as terrible as I was afraid that it was. And so that's sort of the theme for tonight. This talk is maybe it's a little bit better. I know a lot of you have probably heard of it, and it's maybe a little bit better than you're thinking. Okay, so first, it's not your beautiful open source project like Python, although it's getting a little bit better. There's sort of like this legal menagerie of licensing that some portions are available of. But the newer parts, like MVC, Web API, and Razor, are all actually open source projects. They've got a Git repo. They accept pull requests. You can go pull and contribute and be awesome. And nobody likes it, but there's always mono if you don't want to run on Windows, but just mentioning it. What does it look like? It's been said that C sharp and Java look syntactically somewhat similar. The discerning eye may be able to identify which one is C sharp and which one is Java, but sort of undeniably, they look sort of similar. And I'm assuming that most people have, just by the popularity of Java, have touched Java at some point. So I won't delve too deeply into what classes and methods look like in Java, but they look pretty similar in C sharp. Okay, except there is a big difference, right? And that's in LINQ. All right, and LINQ is the language integrated query. We've got a Man of War fan back there, which is great, and that's coming out of the Microsoft Research Department. What they discovered was that there's sort of like this disparity in how you want to talk to your data. And when you're talking to a collection of data in the database, you talk SQL. When you're talking to like a big XML document, you talk like XPath or something like that. When you're talking to like a list or an array, you're sort of like iterating over it and like finding things according to some sort of criteria. And wouldn't it be cool if you could sort of talk the same language to everything, all right? And and they tried to solve this with LINQ. So let's take a look a little bit at, I know this is like way smaller than I had hoped. All right, but down here, use your really good powered eyes right now. I'm going to start by getting a collection. I don't want to have a database or anything. So down here I've got names. It's returning this IEnumerable string thing. Because I don't have a database, again, I just defined an array with like some awesome bands here. Okay, and what am I going to do for each band? I'm going to yield. Wow, that's cool. We've got generators, kind of like Python. All right, you can do that in C sharp. Yeah, all right. Now, all right, so now we've got our IEnumerable. What are we going to do? Well, it looks like I just wrote a function right here that takes a string and it returns a bool. Huh, that's pretty cool. Phil, did you just write a lambda in C sharp? You can't do that. Yeah, you can. All right, cool. And now we've got select. So I'm taking that data and I'm gonna take a string and I'm gonna apply a function to that string to upper. Boy, it sure looks like where and select look a whole hell of a lot like map and filter. Yeah. Okay, now I've got my collection that I've transformed in a very awesome way, and I'm going to say for each, how about I just pass it a method as a parameter? No, you can't do that. Yes, you can. All right, and so we can do that. So we can see that some of the things that we all love about functional programming in Python, there's a little slice of that in C sharp too, and this is why it's maybe a little bit better than you think it is. Okay, I only timed for 5 minutes. So again, if you thought I was going to talk for 7.5 minutes and you hate this proc, it's already a little bit better than you think it could be. So the last thing I want to close with is something you might not expect out of a strongly typed language. You'll see right here I've got sort of this band with a band name and formed on and current lead singer, right? But really I want to passing to another layer. I don't like the shape of that data for some reason. I want to change it. Right here, this whole new curly brace business, this is me actually defining an anonymous class right there. Wait, you can't do that in a strongly typed language like C sharp, Phil? No, but you can. It's really cool, all right? And so this saves me a whole lot of trouble of writing a second band subclass or something like that with less exposed. So anyways, that's pretty much everything I had to say. I guess since I've got more time to burn, I didn't even hear the 3-minute mark, which means I'm talking really, really quickly. So I'm sure that it all sunk in extra deeply due to the great speed with which I was speaking. There's also something called plink, though, where you can say, hey, as long as I've already gone through all this business of being sort of functional, I can just assure LINQ that this can really function in parallel, and it'll actually do it for you, like one letter change, and bam, parallel, right? That's really cool, I think. Okay, and that's actually all I had to say. Yeah, we've got a question, so we've got time, yeah. Yeah. Actually, so when I said you're passing a method as a parameter, right? How it's accomplishing that? That's actually a delegate. Yeah. It's behind the scenes. Yeah. R type. var type. Okay, yeah, var, right. Oh, good question over here. So instead of, all right, everybody hates in Java when you're like, byte array, my byte array equals new byte array. It feels like it's really, really redundant. So there's this whole var thing. This is an implicit type. It says, hey, bro, just figure it out. The compiler figures it out. So it's not a runtime penalty you're paying there. It's a compile time. And if it takes like an extra half second to compile, I don't care. Maybe you care, but I don't. So anyways, some people really hate var. I think that var is more concise, but there's like a whole like flame war online of like, should we really? Yeah, I know. Who would have thought? People online are disagreeing, right? Okay. Anybody else have a question? Okay, that's it. Thank you.